Holy shit. Edgeworth is throwing me a fucking bone and I'm catching it in my mouth. Matt on guard will go free, and in his place, you will become the guilty party, you fucking idiots. That's a lie. I don't believe it. Are you stupid? No, she's actually... Nah, get her off my screen. I don't want to play anymore. I don't want to play anymore. There's no way you're this fucking stupid. What in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it right? I can't speak about it. I'm too scared. Oh, brother. Okay. I'm gonna fucking kill myself. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's work. All right, so we're going to the second part of the trial. Dude, I can't believe that Adrian. No way. Not Cole and collected AA. She's your manager. What the fuck did I just read? If she's your manager, it would have been very easy for her to pull this off. The only person who had easy access to the knife you used at dinner was, well, her. So after the ceremony during the break, huh? I was sleeping like a log this entire time. Or the entire time. See, she could have also easily planted that blood-covered button in your Hakama. Oh, that's me. Because she was the one that came to wake me up? Then, dude, you're saying it really was her? Yes, she is the real killer. She was the one who murdered Juan Corrida. No, this shit trial going on too long. Ain't no way that's it. I think that's it, but I mean, I don't know. But like that so far. But we'll see. But why? I thought she was buds with Juan. She has her own agenda. Her own agenda? What are you talking about? I'm sure you'll see by the time this trial's over. It'll be all right. I'll get you acquitted by the end of the day. Give me a verdict that's refreshing like a spring breeze, okay, Mr. Lawyer dude? Phoenix, you think her motive is related to Celeste Impact's missing suicide note, right? Yes. Miss Andrews depended on Miss Impacts as her strength and reason to live. But then Miss Impact suddenly killed herself. It sounds like I really did not expect this game to like not mince words, right? Not like shy away from something so serious. Because like we do talk about people dying and being killed, so it's like this is crazy. But you know, I appreciate it. And the person, if they were to even do something like this, I wouldn't expect them to like be this graphic about it, and I appreciate it. And the person thought to have hidden it is Juan Corrida, the victim of this murder. And that's why I think that Miss Andrews got close to Mr. Corrida, ought to get the suicide note back. That sounds plausible. But one thing that bothers me, who was it that first told us about the relationship? Better stated, Miss Andrews' dependency issues with regards to Miss Impacts. It was Edgeworth. It looks like he's still the one in command of this ship. Don't let your guard down yet. Fuck. Alright, bet. Type shit, huh? Court will now reconvene. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you please. Hold on. The killer doesn't have a profile? Fuck. I can't remember. Did the killer didn't have a mask on, right? Like I feel like in my mind he had a mask on, but I think he had his face shown. If he had a mask, I would have been like, it's AA. AA is the killer. Because she had that same card. That's not part of... Okay, let's just go. I am the manager of the defendant in this case, Mr. Matt on guard. I see. Now then, before we begin, Your Honor, I have one request. Yes, sure. What is it? I'm sure everyone in this room is wondering the same thing and would love to find out more about my relationship with the victim. After all, it was the topic of a certain weekly magazine recently. No, I have no idea what you mean. I've never even heard of Gossipland. Nigga is so goofy. If the judge was ever a prosecution witness, he'd do all my work for me. Anyway, I was wondering if you could please tell us about your relation to the victim. Yes, I was seeing Mr. Coretta. I was also aware of the rivalry that existed between Matt and Juan, but this was a private matter between Juan and myself. So it was a fry and bait matter, or was that bait and fry? Reminds me of fishing. But I didn't kill him. No one is accusing you of that. I think there's someone who would beg to differ. I think we all understand your relationship with the victim now, Miss Andrews. Very well. Then, witness, please testify to the court about what happened when you discovered the murder that had taken place. It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. After that, I went to Juan's room. There was his dead body. I was in shock. Okay. What I saw was naturally the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. Okay. You poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, sadly, I didn't remember not to touch things at the scene of a crime. And I disturbed the crime scene by moving this one thing. And that is when the fingerprints on the wine glass were made, Your Honor. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Oh! Whoops, I guess. She is one cool and collected customer, and she has the brains to match. Yeah, I know. In order to catch a person like her, okay, head-on confrontations, you should disrupt her pacing. Disrupt her pacing? She's the type of woman who is easily thrown off by things inconsistent with her thinking. So you have to attack when she least expects it. Instead, you let up on your offense and okay. Bro, this is not a fighting game. Let's press. It was time for the show to start, so I went to get Matt from his room. Hold it, bitch. And what was Mr. On Guard doing at the time? He was taking a nap. He was worn out from his many performances as the Nickel Samurai during the ceremony. Mr. On Guard did say he took a nap. Okay, now I guess you could say it could not have been taken out of his room, yes? Excuse me? What are you? Right, I thought years of school would have taught you how to construct a sentence. If you can't make a sensible sentence with the subject, then I'll make one for you. Watch. Nigga. Did you, Miss Andrews, remove Mr. On Guard's knife from his room? No. Subject, verb, object. Right? Did you skip basic grammar? The witness may continue. This bum ass nigga. Like, Edgeworth, can you chill out, bruh? After that, I went to Juan's room. Yeah, and why did you do that? As a friendly gesture. Juan was to make an appearance with the other heroes. So the show was supposed to be a show of friendship, huh? Press further, sure. Is that the only reason? Did you suck his dick? I heard you two were together. Like, I don't know, throw her off. You said throw her off, right? I beg your pardon, what are you implying? That you're getting piped by the samurai. You had a certain goal in mind when you started to get close to him, correct? You wanted that. So perhaps you had a more personal matter to discuss with the victim. Sorry, but I didn't have any such intentions in mind at that time. I can't get her to talk without a strong piece of evidence, I guess. Maybe we continue now. There was his dead body. I was in shock. You were in shock. What was I supposed to be? Miss Andrews is a very calculating person, and despite how close they were, I doubt she had romantic feelings for Mr. Coretta. Anyone randomly stumbling upon a dead body would be in shock, you fucking idiot. And you can't seriously expect that a young beauty like her would not be shocked. What they gotta do anything? Somehow I don't think beauty has anything to do with being shocked or not. Right. Like Edgeworth over here trying to mac while we're in the middle of trial. Like he over here trying to say, what would a smart, intelligent, funny woman do? Like, come on, bro. Like, I see you though. I see. What I saw was naturally the exact same scene as in the crime scene photo. This is the photo you're referring to, correct? Yes, the one with the knife lodged in his chest. And the guitar case was like this too? Yes, it was open and empty, of course. And then what did you do next, witness? I felt as though I was about to faint, so I poured myself a glass of juice. Juice? Yes, there was a bottle of tomato juice on the table, so I helped myself. But you didn't drink any of it, did you? It didn't look like it. Huh? There were no lip marks left on this wine glass to suggest that anyone drank from it. I was gonna say it didn't look like that, but I'm like, I don't know, it's a video game? I don't know if I'm supposed to read too far into that. I wasn't feeling terribly great, so I set the glass down without drinking it. Miss Andrews, I would like to confirm with you one more time. When you discovered the dead body of Juan Corrida, you were in great shock, and that's when you poured yourself the glass of juice, correct? And what of it? My mind really was a complete blank at the time. Your mind was a complete blank? I didn't think that was possible for you. Aren't you rude today? I was so dazed that I made one careless mistake. That one thing? What's one thing? Never mind, it's no big deal. What was she starting to say just now? Press further, the fuck? Miss Andrews, I'm convinced that as you said, you made a mistake at the scene of the crime. What I really want to know is what this mistake was. Actually, so would I. I'm sorry, it's kind of embarrassing. When I set the glass down on the dresser, I accidentally knocked the flower vase over. Interesting. Are you talking about the one on the floor in the crime photo? This mess of glass shards? It was originally on top of the dresser, but when I bumped into it with my elbow, it fell onto the guitar case. It fell onto the guitar case? While it was open? Wait, why did you withhold such an important piece of information? I'm sorry, I thought that since the crime scene was already in disarray, that people would simply assume the vase was just another part of the mess. It looks like yet another fact has come to light here. Please add this and anything else you have to reveal to your testimony. I'm sorry, but I have nothing more to add. I didn't touch anything else, bitch. I was the one who knocked the flower vase over where it fell onto the guitar case. That don't make no damn sense. Because then that means you opened it. Or else it would have fallen inside the guitar case, but empty. There's some water, but only on the top of the lid. Which makes sense if she dropped the vase on the lid. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'll press it. For the love of the game. What kind of flower vase was it? It was a glass vase, and it was fairly big and heavy. I thought I would try to take Juan's pulse, so I set the glass I was holding down on the dresser. And that's when my elbow accidentally hit the vase. That's odd. I thought she was always in control of herself. Man, you know you're just putting on a damn facade, right? The fuck wrong with you? That's what she would like people to think, right? Always be mindful of the gap between your perception and reality. Of course. I just spilled juice all over myself. Oh my god. All over myself. That's crazy. How could this have happened to me? All over myself, huh? Ain't that some shit? It doesn't sound like there's any glaring contradiction in her testimony just now. I warned you earlier that she would not crack, so this is the only way. Yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna just go for it. Save it. Present guitar. You testified that you knocked the flower vase over. Is this correct? Yes, and are you sure it fell onto the guitar case? Is there some problem with what I said? Turns out I just need to stop doing voices for my brain to work. Ain't that something? It's not some problem. It's a major problem. It's true that the top of the guitar case was wet with water. However, that's exactly what is so strange. Miss Andrew. You testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case. However, if that was true, the case should have gotten wet on the inside, not the outside. Of course. That's very true. Furthermore, there's one other strange thing about this guitar case. And what is that? Let's take another look at the crime scene photo. The remains of the vase are scattered on the floor. And what is wrong with that? If the guitar case was open when the vase fell, the glass shards should be inside, not outside the case. Objection. What is your point, Wright? That the case was closed at the time the vase was knocked over? Is that all? Objection, bitch. No, think back to what Miss Andrews testified to. She said that other than the vase, she didn't touch anything else. Nigga. Yes, that's right. She did implicitly say she didn't touch the guitar case. But this whole matter with the guitar case is a dead end. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. It has no bearing on this case at all. That may very well be. However, she lying. I don't know. The empty guitar case does seem to have no relation to this case, doesn't it? It seems that there is no deeper meaning to the guitar case. But why'd she open it? The fuck? Well, Mr. Wright, do you think we need to hear more details about the guitar? Make her testify. Fuck. Empty guitar case. I believe this is a crucial piece of the puzzle. I can't believe anyone would reach for straws like this. But it is you. He ain't bullshitting, right? He don't give a fuck. He just be saying, but that's hilarious. I can't believe I'm doing this either. I'll follow along for now. Miss Andrews, please testify to the court about the guitar. Yes, Your Honor. I don't remember too clearly because I was a bit dazed. I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. It's not a big deal though, right? The case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know. Oh, brother. Looks like this really wasn't a very important point. This wastefulness is such a familiar feeling by now that it's almost comforting. Anyway, I'll just go ahead and start the cross-examination. Using anyway to change the topic, a convenient escape for a weak man. Like, this nigga is why is he pressing everything I do? I've missed him. I've missed Edgeworth. Like, he don't need a whip. His tongue is enough. I'll fuck with him heavy, bro. I really do. I don't remember too clearly, but I was a bit dazed, okay? I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after the... Press it. So you opened the guitar case then? Yes. Well, maybe. Why did you open the guitar case? Huh? Mr. Critta's dead body was right there in front of you, wasn't it? I would think the first thing you would do is call for help, not open the guitar case. Objection. As the witness has said multiple times when she found the dead body, she was dazed, okay? Maybe I was curious to know if the bright red guitar was alright or not. I thought maybe the criminal took it. Why would she care about the bright red guitar? But getting back on topic, it's not a big deal though. Was it really empty? I was just wondering if maybe when you opened the case, the guitar was still inside. Well, how long have you been a lawyer, Mr. Wright? Have a little professionalism. The bright red guitar was found at the studio. These trials would be over in half the time if you would just pay attention. Yes, pay more attention, Mr. Wright. Sorry. I was gonna say. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know, Cap. Was that because you were shocked and dazed at discovering the victim's body? Yes, that's probably it. I'm not going to get anywhere if I continue pressing her like this. The only way to make her talk is with evidence. I guess I should give it a try. Come on, Phoenix. We can't afford to let up on her now. I wasn't planning on letting up, but she's at her weakest now. Yeah, if we had a weapon to hit her with, we could kill her and we wouldn't have to worry about it. I'm sure a weapon is hiding somewhere in the court record, waiting to be found. They've said similar stuff like that before, and evidence wasn't the answer, so I'm gonna assume it's the answer, but I'm just gonna press the one thing I didn't press. Do you remember those events clearly in your mind? Well, you see. Are you sure you are the one who opened the guitar case? She's waiting for someone to tell her if she should answer or not. Sounds like her dependent side is taking over. Well, Miss Andrews, yes, it was me. I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase over. It's not a big deal though, the case was empty after all. As for why I opened the case, even I don't know. Seems like Nickel Samurai is to confess something after the... Okay. Originally from Maya's kidnapper. Going on the night, tabloid article, the victim... Reliable sources say that it's been getting close, yet beautiful manager, okay. Why would she open the guitar case? Found next to the victim is filled with tomato juice. Bears Andrew's fingertips. Okay. Photo of Juan Corrida. Because I'm looking, it's like this. It says it only bears Corrida's fingerprints. So if she was wearing the Nickel Samurai costume, I guess, and she could have opened up the guitar case while still in the costume and then made sure to put her fingerprints on the wine glass. But what's the point of the... I don't know. Hold on. Photo of one. Maybe it was to look for a suicide note? Maybe it was to look for a suicide note. I'm gonna hit this save. And then I'm gonna go ahead and present. Oops. I'm gonna go ahead and present. Was her suicide note hidden? I'm gonna present that. The music didn't stop. Fuck. The witness's statement is clearly faulty, Your Honor. I'm sorry, but I can. Unfortunately, I will have to. Okay. I don't know. Love how quickly it loads. Okay, let's look at this. Was on bad terms. A young star who played Gem and Ninja was on bad terms with On Guard. I have no clue. Okay. Okay, so now we're on the guitar case. Okay. Present the guitar case. I did that. Wait. Wait, am I? Where are we? I presented the note, right? It says, okay, it says present guitar case at either second, third, or fourth statements. But I feel like they already know. Really? I suppose I must have opened the guitar case after I knocked the vase off. Oh, I'm supposed to present the guitar case? Because I actually talked about it too. I was like, they only found Kurida's fingerprints, but I guess she was wearing the Nickel Samurai. If she was wearing the Nickel Samurai costume, then that makes sense. So I guess it only bears Kurida's fingerprints. That's crazy. Yeah, duh. I literally said that. And I was like, but I didn't think that they would want me to present that. Okay. There's no way you were the one who opened the guitar case. Why would you say that? It's elementary, my dear. Huh. Because the only fingerprints in this guitar case are those of the victims. Ah! What is it, Mr. Andrews? Miss Andrews? You shouldn't assume I must have left fingerprints just because I touched the case. What do you mean? What if I were to tell you that I was wearing gloves at the time? But you left fingerprints on the wine glass. What are you talking about? But why would you be wearing gloves at the time? It was the night of the award ceremony, so of course I dressed up for the occasion. Yes, now I remember. I'm almost sure I was wearing a pair of thin gloves. I see. Well, Mr. Wright, that's strange. You were wearing gloves. Isn't that a little strange? Why is that strange? Goofy ass. Do you have something that would prove I was not wearing gloves? Yeah, I have your proof right here. This wine glass. The wine glass? Yes, you left your fingerprints very clearly on this wine glass. Ah, shit! Even if you took your gloves off when you poured yourself this glass of juice, wouldn't you think it was just a little strange that you put your gloves back on just to open the guitar case? Ah, broke her glasses. Ah, she had an extra pair. What the fuck? Okay. The hell? Order. Looks like you hit the nail on the head this time. What do you mean? I believe that guitar case plays a very important role here, but it's just an empty case. I wonder if it really was empty though. But the guitar, the bright red guitar, was at the studio. Phoenix, drop all of your presumptions. What was in the guitar case was not the bright red guitar. You don't mean it was a bright white guitar? Wait, that's not right either. It could have been anything, right? I admit it would be unnatural for someone to do that. So the witness was not wearing gloves, despite the fact that on the case... Your Honor, this is obviously the defense's usual misdirection tactic at work. Steer the court towards an unrelated topic and lull us all into his misguided... Objection, bitch! No, Your Honor. Please recall that Miss Andrews had testified that the vase fell onto the guitar case, which means that the case was closed when the crime took place. What her goofy ass. However, it is wide open in this photo of this crime scene. I am sure this guitar case has some relation to the murder. Objection to my objection. If you are so sure, right, then I'm sure you can somehow substantiate your outrageous claim, correct? Please enlighten us as to why that guitar case has anything at all to do with the... We'll go ahead and hit that. With this murder. Can you do that, Mr. Wright? Well, let's suppose for a second that the bright red guitar was not the only thing that could have been in the case. The bright red guitar not being the only thing. You don't mean to suggest a bright black guitar? Okay. So you, I don't know. I just got shivers for some reason. Is there a ghost in my room? So you intend to push your theory that the case was not empty? Is that it, right? I wouldn't say something I didn't intend to prove. Deflate that head of yours, idiot. You haven't proven anything yet. Now then, let's have it. What was inside this case at the time of the murder? And you better have your facts straight, nigga. The suicide note. And why would something like that be inside a guitar case? Why, Mr. Wright? Well, I'm just... What else would be in the fucking case that she would be looking for?
Objection!
I can't pause it to save it here. I mean, she didn't even know about Lotta's camera. Now then, let's have it. What was inside the case at the time of the murder? I don't know. A person was in there. I don't know. Present the wine. Yeah. Mia now says you have found a weak point. The guitar case. She thinks the other. Okay. The case was open, so Andrew must have opened the case for a reason. When asked to present the thing that was in the case, present either Nickel Samurai or Lotta's photo. This is a photograph. Yes, but what is important is what is in that picture, Your Honor. In this picture, it doesn't take a genius to see what I mean. What I am proposing is, inside the guitar case was the Nickel Samurai, the hero's very own costume. What? You're right. Why? Why would that be in the case? Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Right, are you saying that the witness opened the guitar case to take out a costume? What insane point would there be to doing something like that? That insane point would be to wear the costume, of course. Miss Andrews put it on to hide her identity so she could make her escape. But how'd you know it was even in there? After all, you couldn't let anyone see you leave, could you, Miss Andrews? I refuse to accept your theory. Right. Do you have anything to support such a preposterous idea? Just outside the door was an investigative photographer who was starving for a big scoop. And in the end, she managed to get this shot, correct? Okay. So? Order. It looks... Oh, shit. Nice job, Phoenix. Well, you know my strategy. Speak first, think later. So the real murderer was hiding inside a costume. Objection. Wait 1 second, Your Honor. Fuck. The Nickel Samurai's costume would have been Mr. Matt on guards. Why would something of the defendants be in the victim's room? And inside the guitar case of all places, what I'm saying. True. That is a little baffling. See, that's why I got to keep the walkthrough up, because I'm not getting that at all. The costume is inside. I'm not getting that at all. We would have been here for 2 hours, y'all. The court would like to hear your thoughts. What was this nickel samurai costume doing inside the guitar case? It was a spare costume. See, I was going to pick the top option. Mr. On Guard did not take his costume off during the break period. In that case, the costume we were talking about was a spare one. What? Then are you saying that on the night of the murder, there were 2 nickel samurai costumes at the Gatewater Hotel? I mean, that I figured that because, you know, one person was walking and we know that was in Mr. On Guard because he was asleep. So we already knew there were 2 costumes, but it being in the guitar case is crazy, is it not? Yes, that is what I'm saying. And how do you explain the costume that was inside the guitar case? It would mean that the victim himself had brought this spare to the ceremony on purpose. But why? The victim, Mr. Kurita, was the Jammin' Ninja. Why would he secretly bring the Nickel Samurai's spare costume with him? What could be the reason behind such a peculiar act? And therein lies the sticking point. What are you mumbling about, nigga? Have you just been rambling all this time without any sense of inner... I'm right with you, Edgeworth. I'm not gonna cap. I'm right there with you. Like, nigga, what are you talking about? You that would have had me fucking hot. Holy shit. No, I just... Mr. Wright, please explain yourself. Why do you think the victim had Nickel Samurai's spare costume? Phoenix, are you sure you can explain this one? No. Think carefully before you answer, and then answer with gusto. I believe in you. Alright, this is what I think. Edgeworth was fucking tripping on that. I can't blame him. Did I save? I think I did. Alright, this is what I think. The reason the victim brought the Nickel Samurai's spare costume to the hotel was... so he could pretend that he was the Nickel Samurai, and like if AA is walking around with the Nickel Samurai, people don't think it's weird. So it was so they could see each other without people, you know what I'm saying, knowing that it was Juan. That's the only reason I could think of. Oh my god, no. Fuck everything I'm saying. Oh my gosh. No way. So you're telling me she wanted to go over there and get this nigga to dress up like the Nickel Samurai so he could go to the post-ceremony stage show in the actual Nickel Samurai's place while he was sleeping? This has to be it. I mean, this has to be it, right? I'm doing it. What is this? On the night of the murder after the stage show, the Nickel Samurai was going to hold a special press conference. A press conference? Yes, the Nickel Samurai was supposed to confess something at this conference. I heard about this as well for once. You're not making things, you're not making something up, right? But what struck me as strange was that Mr. On Guard himself said he had no idea he was supposed to be holding a press conference that night. I don't remember that. But how can that be? The way I see it, that can mean only one thing. The conference was set up. What the fuck? By none other than the victim, Juan Kurita himself. So here's my problem, right? That's something where if you're locked in the whole trial, you could get there. You could get there. I mean, I got there. But I'm saying, like, to get there, you would have to have seen everything. Like, to even think about, you would have to think about this to know to even select the Nickel Samurai costume was inside the guitar case. You get what I'm saying? You would have already had to come to this point. But we hadn't come to this point. Even Wright was confused. Edgeworth was confused. Everybody was confused. You know what I mean? And then we figured it out. But it's like, you need this. You need this walkthrough, y'all. You need, or you're just going to be wasting time doing process of elimination, which is never fun in a game like this. That shit sucks. But it's like, sometimes they are like, completely obvious with what they want. And sometimes you have to see so far ahead to understand what they want right now. Without the information, you just have to already know where we're headed before everyone else knows where we're headed. And it's like, I don't like that. I don't like that. It's pretty fun though. Or it's like it's like a game where you play it for the story, not for the gameplay. You know what I mean? You're just trying to get there. Yes, the spare nickel samurai costume was prepared for that very conference. Mr. Kurita was going to hold the press conference as the nickel samurai. He was going to dress up as the nickel samurai and hold a conference. But why would the victim do such a thing? That's something I don't quite know yet. However, what I am concerned with right now is what he intended to reveal at that conference. The nickel samurai was going to confess something. And by confess, I'd wager he was going to reveal something about himself. Which means that Juan Kurita, posing as the nickel samurai, was going to speak about Matt on guard. Let me go. There we go. But if that's the case, that's not a confession. That's public disclosure. Well, he was going to do it in place of Juan to pretend like it was a confession, you know? Miss Andrews, I can see why you are pros at what you do. Pardon me? Just as you say, the press conference was set up by Juan. Miss Andrews, please offer us an explanation for this. Could you imagine being her? I would have been tripping out if they figured all this out. I would have been like, what? How the fuck did y'all figure this out, bro? I was the one he asked to help set it up. And the person who prepared the second costume for him, that was also me. You? Juan had bet everything on the Gem and Ninja this year. And if he lost the Grand Prix, he was going to make sure Matt was going down with him. That's what he thought anyway. He was going to ruin him, huh? It looked like somehow Juan had in his hands a secret so powerful that would destroy Matt's acting career had it been revealed. What? And do you know what this secret of Mr. On Guard is, Miss Andrews? That's something only Juan knew. I don't know what it is. I see. I've probably been coming off quite suspicious to everyone, but that's to be expected. I've been trying to protect Matt after all. Protect Mr. On Guard? That nigga is under arrest, bruh. And yet again, another strange bit of truth comes to light, it seems. Miss Andrews, if you could please tell us the truth. Wait, did she just admit to being the one who murdered Juan? Is that because I would understand why she says, you know, I did that to protect Matt. Honestly, I was half listening. So if they made it obvious, my fault. If you could please tell us the truth about your behavior. Yes, Your Honor. I understand. Protecting Matt, okay. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling. Okay, so she's still saying she didn't murder him. Okay. I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Matt had to kill Juan no matter what, and he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence, of course, the butt and the knife. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him. He's under arrest. What do you mean? Protect him how? This does account for everything. No, it doesn't. Am I tripping? I must have missed something crucial, honestly, when I was only half listening. Because I'm like, you protected him by what? What did you do exactly to protect him? You took the costume and you walked out the room with it? Like, to frame him, obviously? I mean, am I tripping? The knife was still in, bro, with Matt's fingerprints all over it. Am I tripping? Well, I am the logical type. We're finally seeing her true self. She's more nervous than a scared rabbit. If the defense can find no fault with this testimony, I'm ready to make a ruling. Please keep that in mind. It looks like somehow everything has swung to the opposite end of the scale. That just means I have to put my weight. I must have missed something obvious. From the moment I saw the crime scene, I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Would you say that was your intuition speaking to you? Don't confuse my methods of reasoning with your own. Brother, if you want to prove that someone did something, you need three things. Three things? Motive and opportunity to commit the crime, and finally, decisive evidence. And if you think these three things through, the answer becomes quite clear. You should have already known that, Phoenix. They didn't teach that to us in school, at least not from what I remember. May I continue now? Matt had to kill Juan no matter what. Why? He has no reason to. He won the Grand Prix. He won everything. So would you say this need came from the press conference? Oh, that. Yes. Do you know why Juan chose that event and that hotel for the conference? Because that was when he could cause the most damage to the public's beloved Matt's on guard. And you knew of this plan, didn't you, Miss Andrews? Yes, because I was the one who set up the conference and prepared the costume. But I'm sure Mr. On Guard himself didn't know anything about the press conference. Oh, really? Can you show me any proof that he didn't know about the press conference? I'm so, like, fucked up right now. Anyway, the important thing here is that this information was not in your testimony. Yes, I agree, Miss Andrews. Please correct your testimony. Grasping at straws now, are we, Mr. Wright? Oh my god, I can't wait to throw you behind bars. I don't even know if it's really you. Like, they're making it seem like it's not you, but I feel like it's you. I feel like everything that we've seen so far is saying it's you, but I feel like that's too obvious. I know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove I'm right. Has Mr. On Guard done something to hurt or betray you personally? Why do you ask? You were the one who helped Mr. Coretta with his press conference, and that event wasn't supposed to bring down Mr. On Guard, yet you still helped out. And that event was supposed to bring down Mr. On Guard, yet you still helped out. Right. The person on trial right now is Mr. On Guard, right? What the witness was thinking, helping the victim with his plan, is none of our concern. In any case, what are you talking about? In any case, this means that the defendant had a motive to kill. Why do I keep doing this to myself? And he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence. Of course, the button and the knife. Wait, didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. My thoughts were confirmed by the evidence. Of course, the button and the knife. Wasn't he having dinner with you? Supposedly. You can hardly call the knife decisive evidence. The fingerprints on the knife could very well be clever camouflage. Then what about the button? What about it? It's clear from the crime scene that the victim had his murderer fought. And during the fight, the killer ripped the button from the Gem Ninja's costume, so... That button was found in the pleats of Matt's Hakama, is that correct? Ah, shit, yeah, you're right. I would think that makes it very decisive evidence. Alright. Looks like you were outfoxed again, Mr. Wright. Yeah, anyway, the knife doesn't prove a thing. Please fix your testimony. I can't stand the sight of a man who can't gracefully accept his defeat. I can't stand the sight of a bitch. Holy. Thank goodness Mia can still look at me with an icy stare, yes. Get out of my head. Miss Andrews, for Mr. Wright's sake, please add this information to your testimony. That button was turned off Juan during his fight with Matt. And how do you know that? When the ends of the... Yeah. They were found to fit together perfectly, yeah. I've heard that before too. But why would Miss Andrews know about this case down to such a fine detail? Don't look at me like that. Just because I'm prepared... and I thought I had heard this time for sure. If there's anything to trip her up on, it has to be here, but where and what? But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt that I had to protect him. But what you really did was stab the guy in the back, didn't you? And at the worst possible time. Oh my gosh. Who's to say she really stabbed the guy in the back, as you put it? This witness could have disclosed things about Mr. On Guard at any time. Why then would she wait until there was a large audience before doing so? It's the same reason why Mr. Coretta planned such an elaborate conference. Miss Andrews wanted to cause Mr. On Guard as much damage as she possibly could. This witness bears ill will towards the defendant. This isn't the Phoenix Wright wax philosophical power hour. And please stop slandering the witness. As I expected, Miss Andrews' testimony seems pretty solid. Really? Because to me it sounds a little wishy-washy. Well, I guess we'll see if I press a little more. You should know this by now, but you'll need strong, decisive evidence to make her talk. Got it, Chief. I'm going to pin you down. Alright, from the moment I had a feeling that Matt was the murderer. Did I press that? Okay, yeah, I did. I know what his motive was, but I don't have any way to prove I'm right. Did I press that? Has Mr. On Guard done something to hurt or betray you? Okay, so I've not pressed that yet. And he didn't have an alibi. Right, I skipped that. But didn't you already testify earlier that Mr. On Guard was taking a nap in his room? You're telling me now that that too was a lie so you could cover for Mr. On Guard? I'm not telling you anything of the sort. When I went to get him for the show, he honestly was sleeping. However, as to whether he was sleeping the entire time, that I cannot say. I was too busy setting up the stage at the time. I can't say the same for some people here in this courtroom. The judge is glaring straight at Mia. He's glaring at you, smart guy. That button was torn off. I think I've already pressed that. How do you know that? When the end? Okay, yeah. Because I'm prepared and you are not. Okay, and I thought you. Okay. I think I pressed everything. Interesting. But I'm Matt's manager, so I felt the need to protect him. Well, we can't prove that you're in a relationship with Juan, so we could just say it's gossip. So no point thinking about that tabloid as evidence. That bone was torn off on during this fight. And he didn't have an alibi for what he was doing at the time of the murder. I mean it. Press that. I don't know. For a brief moment of hilarity. Okay. If you newcomers wonder what's so funny about that choice, it was stolen from On Guard. You claim that On Guard would run out naked to the press conference, but Miles mocks you to be naked out of the courtroom, correcting you that On Guard was sleeping with his costume on. On Guard was wearing the costume. Okay. Yeah, press conference. Yeah. Oh, protecting Matt. All right. Press first, press fourth. That button was torn off Juan during the fight with Matt. Present Juan's autopsy report. On this revised statement. Revised statement. The button was torn off of. Strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. The bone was torn off of Juan during his fight with Matt.
Objection!
This is the victim's autopsy report. It clearly states that the cause of death was strangulation by a scarf. Strangulation, okay. The knife stab to the victim was done after the victim had already died. Okay. And what does that mean? Let's examine the evidence. This button has the victim's blood on it, which would mean that it was ripped off of the costume when? After the knife was stabbed into the victim. Which means it is impossible that this button was torn off during the victim's struggle, final struggle. I mean, I was literally thinking like some of the blood could have got on it. I mean, like he could have stabbed. I'm like, okay, during the fight, sure. But here, hold on. I don't know. I'm just thinking like, even if like, okay, realistically, if he could have just tried to stab him and then the button popped off, right? No? Like it didn't have to be during the fight exactly. But I was thinking like the fact that it says cause, time of death, okay, cause, strangled with a scarf, then stabbed with a knife. What confused me was I was thinking, okay, maybe that he was being strangled and then stabbed with a knife. Like what they said, strangled with a scarf, then stabbed him. Like, so as he was being strangled, he's like, this ain't doing the job well enough. So like, as he's still trying to strangle him, he grabs the knife, boom, knifes him. Because I'm like, otherwise, time of death, the cause would just be strangled with a scarf. The knife would have nothing to do with the cause of death. I mean, I guess the autopsy report doesn't just list the cause. It lists like whatever happened to the body afterwards. But I'm like, if he died to strangulation, then shouldn't it just say strangled with a scarf? That was the cause of death. Because here's my thing. Haven't we had other cases where something would happen to the body afterwards, but the autopsy would just list the cause of death, like what they died to, and anything that happened afterwards wouldn't be there? But maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I'm tripping. Okay, sure. Because the victim was strangled to death in that fight. That's right, Miss Andrews. There's no way this button was ripped off during the struggle. This button was consciously pulled off of the victim's already dead body. Okay, but here's also my thing. Who fucking cares? That was also like the part of like why I didn't think about that. Who fucking cares if it was ripped off before or after the fight? Oh, because okay, because they're saying, because she's saying that the button slipped off into his hakama, right? If it didn't happen during the fight, that means it was pulled off afterwards. That means he would have purposefully put the button in his hakama if it was really him, and that would be fucking stupid. But it makes more sense if someone else was wearing it and wanted to frame him. They would pull the button off, put it in, and put it in Matt's hakama. What's the meaning of this, right? So what if the button was torn off the body after the victim had already died? I said the same thing, Edge. I said the same thing. What does that change? Let me ask you one simple question, Mr. Edgeworth. Why was the button torn off? What purpose? Yeah. I was already, kind of talking my way through this. Yeah. What purpose? We now know this button was not torn off during the fight, so the murderer took the time and effort to purposely rip this from the victim's body. That would mean that the murderer had something in mind, wouldn't it? Mr. Wright, what does this mean? Does this mean you know what the murderer wanted to do with this button? What was it? To have a memento of the crime. To pin the crime on guard. I didn't even read I was just taking a break. I was just taking a mental break right there. There's only one logical reason for doing something like that. It was to pin the crime on Mr. On Guard. There's no way anyone would put a bloodied button in their own pants, right? That's right. Mr. On Guard was set up by the real killer, of course. And the real murderer is... Well, Mr. Wright, who in the world is the real killer then? I've already said this. AA. Like, that's the whole reason I subpoena her. Finally. I can't believe I managed to bring this trial all the way up to this point. Phoenix, you can't let your guard down yet. Not until the very end. The real killer. The person who planned to frame Mr. On Guard is... Miss AA. I choose you. She Pokemon? You are Mr. Corrida's killer. What? My glasses! Order, Mr. Wright. This is a very grave matter. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge? Why is everyone tripping? That's the whole reason she's here. That's the whole reason I tried to subpoena her. Do you have any evidence that supports your charge? Any evidence? Everything I just said, bro. All of the evidence points to Miss Andrews. Well, how preposterous. You can't stick any of that on me. I can't, can I? Would you care to test me? I've stuck worse evidence on others. Then what about this knife? The knife was used to stab the victim after he had already been strangled to death. It was used to throw suspicion onto Mr. On Guard, naturally. I mean, personally, I would say a big hole in his, you know, it being AA is that, like, let's keep it real. She's a woman. She's like a small woman. And Juan is like a, I don't know, just based off this photo. Oh, hell. He a big dude. I mean, he at least, oh my God, I'm not even. Yeah, he a muscular dude, bro. You really think he gonna get strangled? By, I mean, like, it does look like that motherfucker on there tight. Look like that motherfucker was tied on there, boys. God damn. But knife covered in the defendant's fingerprints could only be taken from his room, and the only one who had dinner with him and knew which knife to take was you. That's true. I thought about that way before, but we've gone so far away from that I forgot about it. Then what about the button that was found in Matt's Hakama? You took it. This button was removed from the victim's body after he had already died. The only people who could have done so were the person who found his body or the killer. Gotcha. However, if Mr. On Guard was the real killer, there's no way he would have put such incriminating evidence in his own Hakama. Goofy. Ugh. My glasses! The only person who could have put this button into Mr. On Guard's Hakama is the person who went to wake him from his nap, which is you yet again, Miss Andrews. Damn, he really got this shit laid out. I'm not gonna lie. What about the empty guitar case? I don't know. That's also another piece of evidence that incriminates Miss Andrews. Yeah, she opened it, put on the gloves, and so her fingerprints were not on the guitar. Wait. That doesn't make sense. No, okay, she got Corrida to open up the guitar. And then she put the shit on, I guess. The costume was used to hide the real killer's identity as they fled the crime scene. Now, who could have known that there was such a costume inside the guitar case? That's fact. Holy shit. Go ahead, bro. Sorry, it's almost midnight. Let me power through. Let me power through. Okay, it could only have been the person who prepared the costume for the victim. And that person is you, Miss Adrian Andrews. No, I feel bad. I shouldn't, you killer. But Miss Andrews' fingerprints were nowhere to be found on the guitar case. And it was you who proved that she was not wearing gloves at the time. Yeah, I just said that, Edge, but I guess she got Corrida to open up the stuff. Like, why wouldn't he, you know? If she asked. That's right. That's because she did not intend on leaving any prints. If anyone had found out that she had touched the case, they would have asked her why. So to avoid leaving any prints, she used a towel or something else to open. Oh, yeah, I mean, that's a lot more simple. But the glass of tomato juice is a different story. Miss Andrews purposefully left her fingerprints on the glass to show that, yes, indeed, she was the classic dazed discoverer of a dead body. Ah, my glasses! And to top it all off, there is this photo. A photo of the killer as they exited the scene of the crime. No reasonable person on earth can believe this nickel samurai is Mr. On Guard. He would be much too short for his own costume if it was him. Are you cold, baby? Let me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got a jacket, y'all. Like, speaking of how tall people are, Miss Andrews, you're also kind of short. Okay. Please stop. Well, how about it, Miss Andrews? I've got her this time. Yes, Miss Andrews? I refuse to testify. What was that? There's a law. It says I can't be forced to testify about something if it can incriminate me. Isn't there, that's a different, I mean, yeah, the Fifth Amendment, but I mean, isn't there a, I could have sworn there's two different contexts that the Fifth Amendment can be implicated. Originally, if you get brought to police custody, right, and you're under arrest and they start interrogating you, you can answer what you want, and on certain things you could just plead the Fifth. You don't have to answer it. But once you're on the witness stand, unless you have already pleaded the Fifth, it's either on the witness stand you either plead it for everything or you can't invoke it at all. Like, you have to answer what they're asking, or, you know, unless the prosecution is like, you know, leading, whatever, object, you know, relevance, all that. But otherwise you have to like say something. But if you plead the Fifth for, you know, being a witness, then you can't testify for anything, right? I could be wrong. I could be wrong on that. I could be wrong on that. I could be wrong on that for sure. Well, yes, you are absolutely correct, Miss Andrews. The law does provide us with a way to avoid self-incrimination by allowing a witness to not testify if the testimony can cause damage to themselves. What? Pleading the Fifth is not something most people would think to do on the spot. Think so? Actually, thinking back to yesterday in Mr. On Guard's room, Adrian Andrews, yes? Think hard about what we just discussed, understood? Alright. That's it. What's it? That's when Franziska planted this idea into her head. She must have told Miss Andrews to not testify if things looked bad. You did a good job proving everything up to this point, Phoenix. But there's still one thing you haven't done. Something I haven't done. What's wrong, nigga? Are you finished already? I'm not done yet. What is so humorous, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm sure you realize this as well, Your Honor. Everything the good lawyer here has proven up to this point is meaningless. Fucking idiot. What? Everything you have proven is circumstantial. That's another thing. Circumstantial evidence isn't like worse evidence. It's just circumstantial. Because like the whole goal is to prove something beyond a reasonable doubt. And a lot of the time, circumstantial evidence is more important than actual evidence. Yeah, circumstantial. It's just that TV shows and movies make it seem otherwise. You have yet to provide a single piece of definitive proof. Proof that Miss Andrews did in fact harbor a wish to murder Mr. Gritta. That's true. But circumstantial is just like, yeah, the circumstance determines that this is evidence. You know? Okay. What? Miss Andrews, did you want to kill Mr. Gritta? I believe this may lead to me incriminating myself, so I will abstain from answering. But Miss Andrews, if you do that, it would be the same as admitting your guilt, don't you think? That's an awful thing for a judge to say. But it's a very common thing. If you plead the fifth, then people are just going to assume you're guilty then. When in reality, there could be plenty of reasons why someone pleads the fifth. Maybe so or maybe not. There's nothing to prove it either way. Besides, you don't even know what crime I would be guilty of due to my silence. No! She's taking that defiant attitude again. Mia, what should we do? Somehow we've landed in the worst possible situation. Shit. I just hate it when she talks sometimes. I think we have reached a certain conclusion at this point in time. Miss Adria Andrews has refused to testify. And the defense's theory that she's the actual murderer has not been fully substantiated with solid, definitive proof. That's not true. In this situation, there is only one thing this court can do. That is to declare a recess. Recess? I request that both prosecution and the defense look further into this matter. And at tomorrow's trial, fuck. We don't have a tomorrow. If we don't get a not guilty verdict today, then please wait, Your Honor. That's not necessary. The trial. Please continue the trial. God damn. Hold the people hostage here. Why are you sweating for? What are you sweating for? Your client is getting one more day to live, isn't he? That's not it. This isn't about that. Edgeworth, I know you know who the real killer is. Please, let the trial continue. If I don't get the verdict, then Maya... But it's impossible to continue as long as the witness refuses to testify. Now then, this court is... It is not impossible for this trial to continue. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you... It's true Miss Andrews holds the right against self-incrimination. However, if the topic of conversation were something unrelated to whatever she may be guilty of, then she has no right to withhold testimony. Yes, that is very true, but... Actually, there's one little thing that I'm curious about. Miss Andrews, when you found the victim's dead body, you poured yourself a glass of juice. Yes, and? I can't help but think how unnatural that is. Usually when one finds a body, they are shaken up, not stirring a glass of juice. Shaken, not stirred. That's fire. So my actions were unusual, but I've already... Before you speak, I want to state that if you have a reason behind your actions, I would like you to testify to that effect. Testify? Your Honor, I would like to request that the witness testify again as to what happened when she first discovered the victim's body. Whatever we find out, this testimony should in no way implicate the witness. Holy shit, Edgeworth is throwing me a fucking bone and I'm catching it in my mouth. When is trial gonna be over though? It's midnight. I don't know what it is about Edgeworth today, but I can't get a good read off of him. Is he friend or foe? I just don't know. The court acknowledges the prosecution's request, Miss Andrews, if you please. There's more, bro? I thought this was it. Is there more? Oh my god, there's more. There's two more. Oh my god. We're here. That glass of juice, I didn't really pour it for myself. I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in that messy state. And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired, looking in the corner. When I saw him sitting like that, The thought that he was dead didn't even cross my mind. To be honest, I thought he had just fainted or something. So I went to pour him some juice. When I realized that he was dead, that's when I knocked the flower vase over. Wow. Okay, that's actually wow. But you didn't notice the knife in his body? Am I tripping? I was surprised when I walked into the room and saw it in that messy state. And Juan, he was sitting slumped over and tired, looking in the corner. Looking in the corner? When I saw him sitting like that, the thought that he was dead didn't even cross my mind. So I thought he had just fainted or something. Okay, I have to present something. Yeah, I think I already know what. So you poured the glass of juice. Why didn't you say so in your testimony? I didn't think I needed to include something so trivial. But you straight up lied then. you talk about you didn't think you had to include something so trivial, but you lied though. You lied. If you can't find anything wrong with this testimony, then there's nothing left. Edgeworth, what the heck is going on in that brain of yours? Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. I think I already know what to present. It doesn't say I have to press anything. He was sitting slumped over and tired, looking in the corner. That don't even make no damn sense. Sure. The witness's statement is clearly faulty, Your Honor. I'm sorry, but I can see nothing faulty. Unfortunately, I would have to penalize you. I gotta hurry up. So what? Present the crime photo on statements 4, 5, or 6. Are you saying when I saw him sitting like that, thought that he was dead? Didn't you, like, what do you mean look in the corner though? Tired looking in the corner. Okay, I guess I have to present the crime photo on this. Whatever, bro. I thought, okay, whatever. So you honestly didn't think he was dead when you found him? No, not at all. Even though this is what you saw when you discovered the body. Ah! What was the meaning of this? Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? There's a knife sticking straight out of his chest, right? I feel like I could have presented that on fucking anything and been like, she lying. Not that I get that it has to directly contradict like what's being said, but it's like, bro, come on. Like, anyway, anyone who saw this scene would have immediately thought there was a dead man. That's, well, you see, I doubt a single person in the world would mistake this for someone who fainted. Then so nonchalantly go pour something to drink. Holy shit. Your point is, Miss Andrews, your testimony just now, it was all one giant lie. Ugh, my glasses! Your lie has proven one thing very clearly. That you are the real killer, goofy ass. It looks like the defense has somehow brought the ugly truth to light. The defendant, Mr. Matt Ongard, is not guilty after all. But that's impossible. You're wrong. Miss Andrews. Miss Andrews, try to have some composure. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. I'm telling you. See, now I believe her. But is it just because she cute that I believe her? It was Matt. I swear it. He's the one who killed Juan. But you were the one who refused to testify. And you're lying. You were lying, bro. You were lying. If you had told the truth and you really didn't do it, then, you know, we wouldn't be tripping right now. Your reason for not doing so was that you might end up incriminating yourself. That's because, look what happened. I incriminated myself. Miss Andrews, I will give you one last chance. What exactly are you hiding that may incriminate you? Just like, bro, you're on the chopping block. You're about to go to jail. You're about to get on some orange and black. And you just, or is it Orange is the New Black? You about to get that shit going, and you just bullshitting right now. I refuse to testify. Lock her up. Brother, lock her up. You don't want to testify and we're already ready to pound the gavel on your ass? Pause. Yeah, lock her up. Because she pissing me off now. There's no need for this court to continue any further. Mr. Matt on guard's innocence has been clearly demonstrated. Is it over? Have we found the truth at last? What's wrong, Phoenix? Usually the real killer confesses his or her guilt. And now that I think about it, this is the first time someone hasn't. Now then, I would like to hand down my verdict for Mr. Matt on guard. Your Honor, the prosecution feels that it would be premature to pass down a verdict at this time. What? The reason is quite simple. This witness has yet to speak the absolute real truth. Like, say something. Stop refusing to testify. No, like, dead ass. At this point, if we're ready to hand down the guilty verdict and she refuses to testify, yeah, she's fucked. She's an idiot. Fuck her. We're done. Like, are you serious? Oh my God, witness, don't you understand yet? You're fucked. Say something. She gonna piss me off, bro. I'm dead ass gonna get pissed off, man. I don't know who planted this silly idea in your head, but as long as you protect yourself through your silence, Matt on guard will go free, and in his place, you will become the guilty party, you fucking idiots. That's a lie. I don't believe. Are you stupid? No, she's actually. Nah, get her off my screen. I don't want to play anymore. I don't want to play anymore. There's no way you're this fucking stupid. There's no way she's this fucking stupid, bro. She's so. She's a grown ass woman with like. I get that she's a very dependent person. Like, she lost her mentor and was gonna kill herself. Like, oh my gosh, bro. The dependency is crazy. One person told her, hey, if you're in trouble, don't testify. And she really gonna go to jail with that mindset. Even if she didn't do it, she needs to go to jail to learn how to, like, to get rid of this dependent nature. But it's not gonna fix her. So it's like, holy shit. Yeah, I'm what? You don't believe me? You goofy? If I was told if I spoke, then it would be all over and Matt would never be declared guilty. Look at the situation we're in. I'm over it. What in the world is she talking about? Has she lost it? Right. I can't speak about it. I'm too scared. Oh, brother. Oh my gosh, dude. Get it together. The fuck is wrong with her? God damn, say something. Oh, I couldn't do this. Don't you remember, Phoenix? Miss Andrews lives by gripping tightly onto the words of another. Like, that is her fault, bro. I can't. Like, that's on her, bro. That's on her. If she want to go to jail because she can't break out of it, it's on her, man. It's on her, man. I can only feel so much pity, bro. Like, we are dead ass about to bang the gavel. Everybody is telling you, girl, if you don't say something, you will go to jail. And she like, but like, oh my, oh brother, oh man. Because she doesn't have the strength to believe in herself. That is, yeah, you gonna get some strength in jail. You gonna get some strength, I hope. If not, hey, then right now Miss Andrews is, you gonna be somebody's bitch. I'm not gonna cap to you. You gonna be somebody's bitch. Somebody named goddamn Naomi. I don't know, that's just the vibe I get. She was tossed a lifesaver by Miss Von Karma. Don't say a word. No matter what happens, if you do, Matt on guard will be acquitted. Miss Andrews undyingly believes in those words right now and is clinging on to them. So what are we supposed to do? Give her a goddamn blanket and teddy bear? Like, this is the first time I've ever come across anything like this, right? Yeah. It's like, you are not 5 years old. If you were 5 years old, I'd be like, type shit. Like, but this is crazy. You grown ass woman. You're 23 years old, bro. Like, let's get it together. All we have to do now is get our not guilty. That is my only priority. It wasn't me. I'm begging you. Please believe me. I didn't kill Juan. Then give me another testify. Help, please, someone help. Oh God, this is just pissing me off more and more. This is oh my gosh, this is pissing me off so bad, bro. This is pissing me off so bad. Like, why are you a full grown ass woman? You're somebody's manager and you're this helpless. That's sickening. Again, it'd be different if you've been, you know, if you in a goddamn asylum, if you in a psych ward, you know what I'm saying, and you acting like this. That'd be fucked up. That'd be, if you had some mental disability, that'd be fucked up. But you a grown ass woman who's somebody's manager, and you over here, yeah. I'm thinking you killed somebody, and you over here. I don't know what to do. Like, just tell me what happened. Oh, brother, Mr. Wright. Yeah. The court can't continue on like this. Therefore, I'd like to hear what you intend to do. Lock her up. Right, I suggest you think very carefully about this. Think about what this witness did and what she did not do. And think about who is the real mastermind behind this crime. Now, okay, see, now Edgeworth done brought me back to earth. Edgeworth done brought me back to earth. I appreciate you, Edgeworth. So she's so dependent and she's so fucking helpless that there's no way you can really believe, I'm not gonna say no way, but you can't really believe that she would kill somebody. I mean, again, she's showing some like mental stuff going on, so now I'm even more inclined to believe that she would have killed somebody. But she seems so, but for the sake of this game, if this was real life, I'm like, yeah, she did it 100%. But for the sake of this game, she's so dependent. I guess she's just listening to the orders of somebody else, right? And somebody else told her, do this, do that, do this, do that. And she's just been doing it blindly. Who's the real mastermind? Isn't that obvious? There's no one else it could be except the woman crying over there, right? Come now. What will you do? What kind of man are you? Force Andrews to testify! I have to win a complete acquittal today. There's no way around that. But I can't bring myself to do it like this. Not when she's making a face like that. Ugh, I hate that he added that little last part. Not when she's making a face like that. Fuck her face. Like, let's lock in. I would like to know what you are really hiding. Mr. Wright, are you sure you know what you're doing? Sure. Mr. Angard will get an acquittal, but in his place you would be found guilty. Is this how you really want this trial to end? Be quiet. How dare you? You're trying to trick me. I don't care. That's enough. Yeah, cool. I commend you for trying, Mr. Edgeworth. However, it's clear that the defense's theory is the truth. You're wrong. Okay. I'm gonna fucking kill myself. Just like half the people in this damn game. What a shame. I had hoped things wouldn't come to this. However, what is it, Mr. Edgeworth? Miss Andrews, since you absolutely refuse to testify, it falls on my shoulders to disclose this to the court. So stop. Mr. Edgeworth? This witness, how should I put this? She has an illness. What? And because of this illness, she has tried to commit suicide in the past. So stop. Please stop. No matter how much you want to hide it, it's no use. I have the evidence right here. Ah, that's the second part of the suicide report, the attempted suicide report. What will you do now, witness? You know what I am about to do, don't you? I will now reveal to the court the true nature of the pitiful woman known as Adrienne, secret of her dependent nature. Having other people know about it scares her more than anything else in the world. She's obviously dependent. She ain't doing a good job at hiding it. Like, even if I didn't hear about all that shit, which I basically forgot half the shit that's been going on, I would have been like, what the fuck is wrong with her? She is too like helpless. Is that the illness? Is that the illness? She's dependent? You know what? Oh, I put autoplay on. Please stop, I beg you. If people find out, bro, look at you. You would rather go to jail. You would rather go to jail. Yeah, okay, then go to jail. If that's your choice, right? If that's your choice to go to jail versus some people thinking you're dependent, but maybe hold on. JFA, okay. Dependent, because I feel like someone said something about dependent nature There's wording. There's wording being changed. Hold on. I think. Something about her dependent nature translation. I don't want to have to go to the comments. There's no Reddit? Man, fuck it. Let me go here. Let me go to my... Okay. Community. Okay. 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 I don't see... Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, maybe I didn't get a comment. I could have sworn I read something about there being some weird translation with her dependent nature. Oh, maybe I read it on this. Is there a... There's no trivia thing? I'm not going to spend all day. Whatever. If they fucked up the translation, that's not on me. Oh well. If people find out, I'll... Well, if you're going to say you would choose death, that is no concern. That is of no concern to me. Edgeworth, how can you be so cold? I mean, look at her, bro. However, before you die, I will pull the truth from your still breathing lips, no matter what I have to do. So will you tell the court yourself, or shall I? Either is fine with me. Goofy bitch. Edgeworth, calm down. He tripping, ain't he? Nothing matters anymore. When I first saw him, I really thought he had fainted, honest. When I realized he was dead, that was when I formulated my plan. Once I made sure there was no one in the hallway, I made a dash back to Matt's room. And then I stabbed Juan's dead body with the knife and ripped off the button. Just when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of an inconvenience. That's why I ended up using the nickel samurai costume. Stab body with a knife, but why would you do that? Isn't it obvious to pin the blame on a certain person? A certain cowardly man. What do you mean by all of this? It might take this court a little while to understand, but this is the truth. The real killer is Matt, that scumbag of a man. I'll never forgive him. He's trying to escape his guilt again, just like last time. So Miss Andrews, so she don't know who fucking killed the dude. But it wasn't her. She just assumes that it was Matt. Holy shit. Let me check my watch, guy. Really? Miss Andrews stabbed the victim, Juan Corrida, in the chest with the knife. However, she didn't do it with murder in mind. She did it with the intent of framing Matt on guard for the murder. And this is her crime. Okay, that's solid. That's solid. Thank you. Shit. Why would she not just say that? Like, you get what I'm saying? If she's about to go to jail instead of Matt because they think that she murdered Juan, why wouldn't she be like, okay, look, I did stab him, but he was already dead when I got there, for real. Like, just say something. Oh my gosh, dude. Like, what about that? Whatever. She was about to go to jail for murder. I mean, wasn't Miss Andrews? I don't think I'm playing the third game in this trilogy. I'm not gonna cap to you. I don't think I'm playing the third game. Holy shit. Maybe years from now. Wasn't Miss Andrews supposed to be the real murderer? Mr. Wright, please get over your shock and commence the cross-examination. Yeah, I'm gonna examine some shit. I love your top though, Queen. Your top is fire. Once I was there, made a mad dash, and then I stabbed Juan's body Just when I finished and was returning to Matt's room, I had a bit of that's what I wanted to press right there. An inconvenience. There was a woman with a camera at the ready, loitering in the hallway. I'm willing to bet my spikes it was Lotta. My spikes. There was also a woman with a ray gun at the ready, pacing back and forth. That's Miss Old Bag for you. I had already been caught and made into a big scoop for a certain weekly tabloid once, so I couldn't very well go out looking like myself and get caught again. And that's why I ended up using the Nickel Samurai costume. I don't want to concede, but this testimony, it rings of the truth. I'm sorry, Phoenix. No, please don't apologize to me. We were both taken by surprise. Still, I'm sorry. First time I had honestly... My crime. When I first saw him, okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with Andrew's testimony. That's what I'm thinking. Even Mia couldn't find a single drop of ice. Press on all of the... I have to press on everything. Figures. Yeah, I'm not playing the third game in this installment. Not anytime soon. And when I say anytime soon, I mean like not... I don't foresee myself playing it in the foreseeable future. For years. Oops. Am I tripping? I don't think I was napping with this costume last time. Okay, I was going backwards on accident, I thought. Okay, I already pressed this. There's so many games I want to play, so it's like, but anyway, it's fine. There it is. I think we've heard enough. So after that, you went back to Mr. On Guard's room and planted the button into Matt's Hakama? Yes. After that, I folded up the costume I was wearing and put it into the bag. Then I snuck it out of the room. What? My fault. My word. What does all this mean? Mr. Edgeworth, is it? The real criminal is Matt On Guard. Yesterday, that woman prosecutor sat me down for a talk. Franziska, huh? She said that I should, under no circumstance, confess to what I had done. That if I just kept quiet, then Matt would be found guilty for sure. But Franziska, she always underestimates Wright, so it makes sense that she would say that. I had no choice but to believe in her words. What this witness has done is clearly unlawful. However, as long as her testimony stands, we can be certain she is not the real killer. Right, I'm like, yo... At that point, when you know your only crime is stabbing a dead body and everyone is looking at you like you're the killer, and like step by step they're figuring out everything, you got to be ready to be like, look guys, I know what it looks like. Y'all ain't gonna send me to jail. Fuck, she's not the real killer. Wait, Your Honor, the defense still... Oh hell. Right, it's pointless. At this point in time, it is not possible to indict Miss Andrews on anything. Yes, exactly. Why? Because she could be lying. Like, I get it. You can believe her story, but you can also not believe it. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, if her crime is stabbing the body, that's still like part of what we assume the murderer did. So it's not like those are two completely different things. The death and then the stab, to pin it on Matt. You know what? Nah, that does make sense that it would be separate, because why would Matt use a knife with his fingerprints on it and then, you know, it's taken from his room? So it's like, that would make sense that someone would pin it on. But I mean, yeah, it could still be her though that killed what's his name in the first place. But I guess the issue would be motive. So I get the disconnect there. Okay. Yes, exactly. There isn't a single piece of evidence that points to her as the murderer. Not a single piece is kind of whatever. The cross-examination of this witness is over. And so is today's trial. You couldn't establish that the witness was the culprit. Please let it go, Mr. Wright. Fuck! But... No. Mr. Edgeworth, please place Miss Andrews under arrest for further questioning. Understood, Your Honor. The prosecution will arrange for her detention immediately. That is all. Court is adjourned for today. Yeah, he up out of here. Everybody up out of here. Goddamn. Damn, that's crazy. Today's trial, it's over. And I did win an acquittal. Wow, witness, would you mind if I asked you for something? Edgeworth? What is it? Before you leave court today, I wondered if I might look at one thing. The card in your hand. It's had my interest for quite some time now. What exactly is it? Oh, this? Mr. Wright also asked about this. Although I didn't remember at the time you asked me about it, Mr. Wright, I remember just now. I found this in the room on that day. The room? That day? Yes. I found this card when I discovered Juan's body. It was lying there right next to him, so it's the same person who kidnapped our girl. Left it there. You found that card next to the victim's body? I suppose I must have unconsciously slipped it into my pocket. But it's not as if this card has any relevance to Juan's murder, right? Yeah, I guess not. But still strange. But still a strange card, if you ask me. But as far as a clue to this case, I don't see why. Hold it. Witness. Oh, I just got goosebumps. That card, give it to me. Hurry. Edgeworth? Do you have any idea what you have stupidly yet inadvertently done? This? I can't believe you hid this from me all this time. I mean, she did. She's been playing with it. I didn't mean to. Yeah, she's been playing with it in front of you. Like, what is this all about? I've never seen Edgeworth so emotional before. What the fuck? That card, what in the world is it? And what does it mean? What? You gonna leave it off on that? Incredible. Woo! This shit's exhausting. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really do. Keep your head up. Peace.